The chair now recognizes the gentleman from Georgia, Mr. Johnson, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Dettelbach, thank you for your service. Many of my colleagues and I have been strong proponents and supporters of the use of body cameras and funding for those cameras. And so in some ways it's rather surprising to read that Chairman Jordan recently criticized you, he just did it today, about body cameras and what happened to them, why they were not being worn. But meanwhile, House Republican Appropriations Committee Chair Hal Rogers just last month criticized your budget request for its department-wide emphasis on equipping federal agents with body cameras. Is there anything in response that you would like to say to Chairman Jordan, who supports the use of body cameras, versus Chairman Rogers, who wants to defund the use of body cameras?
Well, it's not my position to get in the middle of two chairs, but I will say this. Anybody, Chairman Jordan or anybody, we've been implementing this policy for several years. Anybody who wants to support it, I welcome to the effort.
And we need to fund it.
And
let me just move on, because there's been allegations that this gentleman who the chairman just discussed, Mr. Malinowski, suggesting that he was just a hobbyist. You know, we call him an unlicensed gun dealer, but they say he was a hobbyist and a firearms enthusiast. In your opinion, is someone who buys and then almost immediately resells at least 150 firearms over a 3-year period a hobbyist or an unlicensed gun dealer? Are they a hobbyist or an unlicensed gun dealer?
My opinion and your opinion and others' opinions are not what counts. What counts is the federal judge's opinion, who reviewed the search warrant affidavit here and found probable cause that 2 separate federal laws had been violated relating to unlawful firearms acquisition and dealing. And in that affidavit, which is public, some of the things that are set forth are that Mr. Malinowski had not obtained a license, that he obtained about 150 firearms in the period prior to this incident, that he sold a good number of them, some 1 day after he had obtained them, that one of those firearms was found on the person of a 15-year-old Norteño gang member in California. Another was sold in the backseat of a car in Little Rock to a convicted robber. Others were found on a drug dealer in California, a kilo of marijuana, other drugs in the back, baggy scales consistent with distribution. And so, respectfully, these are not victimless crimes, and it is up to Congress and the judge to make that determination. Those agents were present pursuant to the terms of a federally judicially approved warrant. The time they were there was approved. The day they were there was approved.
Let me ask you this. Do you have any idea how many unlicensed gun dealers, just like Mr. Malinowski, are operating in this country, selling multiple tens of hundreds of firearms yearly?
I don't. We can get back to you with we recently published a national firearms trafficking report that talked about the fact that the percentage of people who are trafficking in this manner has now grown to be the #1 way that people are unlawfully dealing firearms. So 40% of all our criminal trafficking cases deal with the notion of people engaged in the business of dealing without a license. That has grown over time.
Okay, let me get this question in. You know, prior to your confirmation in 2022, there had been a 7-year lapse between confirmed ATF directors to the time when you were confirmed. And during that 7-year period, the crime rate and violent crime rate in the country went up and was going up. And then COVID hit, which caused it to recede for a second. And then you were appointed. It's not a mere coincidence, is it, that your appointment and confirmation has resulted in a decrease in crime, in violent crime?
To me, it's the men and women out in the field who are doing the work. I have the privilege to lead them, and I give all the credit to the brave ATF agents and police officers who are out there risking their lives. But thank you for saying this, but it really is them who's doing the work.
Well, without leadership, it's hard to get things done, and I thank you for your leadership.
Thank you.
And with that, I yield back.
Gentleman yields back.